Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and we're designandtechtips.com. We got a fun one for you today. I'm going to reload this page and we've got our page load. Then we've got our first little title rolling in there. Then our second little title rolling in there. And if I scroll down this page, you'll see that we've got various lines of large text rolling in from either side. And you can have as many of these as you want. When we roll back up, they're going to disappear out the same way as they came in, apart from our first two up here. Now, giant text seems to be perfectly in vogue at the moment, and it's a really good looking thing to have on your site. Of course, this is totally responsive. If I hit my F12 key, here we have it on an iPhone. As I scroll down, it's rolling in. And of course, it'll work just as well on an iPad. So let's close out the inspector and we'll get started. I'm going to create a new page and we'll build this from scratch. You'll be glad to know there's no coding involved in this today. And we can go over to our new page. We'll give it a name. And we'll use the Divi builder. I'm going to go ahead and build from scratch. By default, Divi puts in a section. We're going to add a row. I'm going to put a single column in my row here. I'm going to use a heading module to do this for mine today. And we'll put in what we want to say here. I think it was welcome to our. If you want to link these, you can do so down below. I'm not going to link mine. I'm not going to give it any background at all. I'm going to go over to my design, down to the heading text, or you can just hit the little paintbrush associated with it. It'll take you to exactly the same place. I'm going to make mine a heading 2 because a heading 1 really should just be the main page title. I'm going to use a big block font like Oswald. To choose your font, just click where it says default there. To audition a font, just roll over it. It will give you an example. I used Oswald before, so it's in my recently used fonts up here. That's the one I'm going to use today. I'm going to capitalize mine. I want to pop it in the middle. I want to make it a lot bigger. We'll make it, say, 250 pixels, which is absolutely huge. As you can see, it's kind of split into two there. I want this to be all on one line on desktop here. I think I want to make it a little bit thicker, so we'll make it bold instead of regular. I'm also going to drag those letters a little closer together. If we roll down a bit, we've got letter spacing here. I'm going to use a little arrow to increment down till they're about the size that I want them. Something like that. Like I say, I don't want these to break into two lines. I want them all on one line. So let's make our row bigger to accommodate that. If I save my heading settings here, go back into our row, green tab for row, you can see that the row only stretches from here to here. I want it to be full width. To do that, let's go into the row, the green tab. We'll go over to our design, down to sizing. Width, I'm going to drag that up to 100%. I'm going to copy it. Control C. I'm going to paste it in the max width below, Control V. That's given us a full width row. Now, if you wanted to, you could take that text up even a little bit more. I think that's going to work for me today, though. Now, let's just make sure that our text is going to work on tablet and mobile too. So I'm going to go back into my text module here, or my heading module, I should say, the dark tab. Again, I'm going to hit the little paintbrush associated with it to take us to design. Because we made a full width row, it's now way over on the left-hand side there. Of course, you can manually just go to design and heading text here. Now let's go down to our size. I'm going to roll over it. When you do, some icons are going to appear. Little mobile phone type icon there. We can have different values for tablet and mobile. Let's click on tablet. Just roll it down until we can see it. Again, I think on tablet, I'd like to have this on one line. It's actually cutting off the E of welcome there. So let's take this down in size, perhaps to 100 pixels. I think that's what I used on the last one. That's going to work, but our letters are so jumbled up there. We need to do the same thing for the letter spacing on tablet. So let's go to letter spacing. Make sure you hit the icon again, just because we've got it open up here. Don't presume it's going to work down here. Make sure you open it and click on the tablet version. Let's take it back to how it was. I'll put a 0 in there. A little bit far apart. We'll increment down until it works. Perfect. And we'll have a little look on mobile. Now on mobile, I don't mind it breaking into 2 lines like that. I think I'm going to leave it just like that. Perfect. So let's go back to desktop. I'm going to save my changes here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this row. So again, click on it, green tab for the row. 2 little squares right here will duplicate it. And we've got a similar thing underneath. Now all our styling's already in there for our mobile and tablet. So let's go in there and just change the actual text itself, which I think I had amazing new, or whatever it is you want to say for yours. Now this is working fine, but really I want to have a nice background in there and perhaps turn this text white like we had over here. And of course, styling is up to you. But let's just do that. I'm going to save my changes now. And to create our little parallax effect, it's actually fixed background. That little chap's just standing there in the background, not moving as we scroll down the site. Divi calls that CSS parallax, but like I say, it's also known as fixed background. Very easy to do. We'll go to our section, the blue tab this time. Just click anywhere. It's the blue tab up here for the section. I'm going to go to background. Third tab across is image. Add a background image. There's the image I used before. Put in whatever image you want. And if we roll down, it says use parallax effect. I'm going to switch that on. Now there's 2 versions. There's true parallax, which means that image will move, but it's moving at a different rate from the front of our site, as you can see there, which is a beautiful effect actually. I actually use CSS parallax on mine, which, as I keep mentioning, is also fixed background. Now when we scroll up, he'll stay exactly where I put him. That's what I'm going to use today. Great. Well, it's okay, but my lettering, I'd rather have it a light color like we did before. I think it'll be a little easier on the eyes. So let's go into either of these. It doesn't really matter. Again, we're going to the module. Again, we'll hit the little paintbrush, or you can just go to design, heading text. We know it's our heading 2 because it's highlighted there. I'm going to turn it white in color. But that to me is just a little bit too bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on my color field here. We've got a variegated slider over here, opacity. I'm going to just drag that down a bit. It'll fade slightly into the background. You'll see some of that background bleeding through there. I want it to be fairly sharp. And just to finish it off, I'm going to give it a little bit of text shadow. If we roll down here, I'm going to use this one right here. I think that's quite nice. Obviously, adjust to your taste. Now we don't have to go through it all again for that. All I need to do is roll back up to our heading text here. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to say extend heading text styles to all headings on this page or in this section, because that's all we've got on this page. We'll do the section. Great, it's done that one down there. Fantastic. Well, initially when this page loads, I just want to see that nice image of that astronaut right there. Then I want one of our text to fade in from one side, or slide in I should say, and the other one to slide in from the other side. So for our first 2 here, which is what they call above the fold, in other words, it's the bit that you see first on your website, and the above the fold comes from an old newspaper term. When they had broadsheet newspapers, they'd fold them in half, and whatever stories and images was on the top half that you actually see was called above the fold. Bit of history for you there. Okay, well, let's get this done. I'm going to go back into this row right here, the green tab for the row. I'm going to go to design and animations. I want it to slide in. Now you can click on any of these and it'll give you a little demo of what's going to happen. But I want to use slide, and I want it to slide in from the side. So I'm going to tell it direction. Let's make this first one right, so it should slide in right from the left-hand side. That works for me. But I want it a little bit slower. I'm going to make mine 2 seconds, which is 2000 milliseconds. And also, I want this image to load first. I want them to see a picture of the astronaut before this actually slides in. So I'm going to have an animation delay of 2 seconds also, 2000 milliseconds again. It's going to wait 2 seconds after the page loads, then it will slide in. Perfect. What I'm going to do now I'm going to close up my animation. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to say copy animation styles. I can save that now. We'll go into our row below with the amazing neon there. Go into it, design, and animation. I'm going to right click on it, paste animation styles. If we go in there now, we've got that slide animation in there. I'm simply going to change it from right to left. And the delay, I'm going to increase on this one to 4 seconds. Obviously, adjust to taste, 4,000 milliseconds. Fantastic. Now, for everything that comes below the fold here, I'm going to use a scroll effect, so they'll have to actually scroll up the site before it slides in. So let's just copy our row again, because we've got our text styling in there. Green tab, 2 little squares for the row. We'll go into our little text module here. Heading module, I keep calling it a text module, I guess it is. Put in whatever it is you want to select. Website system, I think I had. That's great. Now what I'm going to do, so I'm going to take the little animation off that we put on our 2 that were above the fold. So let's go back into the row here, design, animation. I'm going to switch that to none, because we're going to use a scroll effect on this, and I'll show you in just a moment exactly how to do that. So let's put the rest of our text in here. Now this is just a static heading, so we can duplicate it, put our next bit of text in. I'll do the first one here, then I'll pause the video and just put the rest in. All I'm doing is exactly this, copying the row and changing out the text in each one. Dark module for our heading module. And I said bringing you there. I'm going to save that. I'm going to rinse and repeat till I've got all my text in there. I'll pause the video. Great. Well, I've just put in my last line. I can't remember exactly what I had on my last one, but this will do. We've got a lot of large text there. Now we know our first 2 are right. We've got those automatically animating. And we're going to use scroll effects from our ones down below. Now this is quite important. Before we do that, because we're going to scroll these off the screen here, we need to hide any overflow in our section so that Google doesn't flag it as content being too big for the site. So again, click anywhere. We'll go into our blue tab. Remember, that's our section right here, where we put our parallax image. I'm going to go over to advanced, visibility, horizontal and vertical overflow. I'm going to hide both of those. I'm going to change it from default to hidden. Like I say, when we slide these off the site now, it's not going to get flagged by Google. Okay, well, let's go down to our first one here, which will be website system. I'm going to click on it. We're going to go into the row itself. Green tab for the row, remember. This time, we're going to go to advanced, roll down to scroll effects. I'm going to use horizontal motion on mine. Hit the little switch to enable the horizontal motion. We've got a little timeline. We've got a viewport bottom of the screen, viewport top, obviously the top of the screen. And we've got percentages where we can do things up the screen. Now my starting offset, I'm going to use something huge like -20. An experiment, see what works for you, -20. Then I have 0. In other words, it's going to be in a normal position right in the middle when we get up to, let's say, 60%. And at the top, I want it to be central still, so I'm going to make sure there's a 0 in the top up here. Now if I roll down, you'll see that's sliding off the left-hand side. As we roll down the page, it's going to come in, and it's going to stick there to the top of the page. Perfect. But I think it's coming in a little bit too early. If I scroll down again, I really don't want to see it above the fold like that. I want it to be a little bit further down before it comes in. So I'm going to move the viewport bottom up to about 30%. I think that's going to work for me. You should see it disappear off the side there. Fantastic. Now when I roll down, it's going to come in. Perfect. Now once you're happy with the way it's moving there, we can do what we did before. I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy the horizontal motion styles here. We'll save that. We'll go into the row below. Remember, we're working on the row, the green tab here. Over to advanced, scroll effects, horizontal motion. I'm going to right click and paste the horizontal motion. And we got our styles in that one. But I want it to be coming in from the other side. So what I'm going to do is take the minus away from that. So it's a regular 20 instead of a negative. It'll come in from the other side. Perfect. Once we got that one in there, we can save our changes. Go down to the next one. Advanced scroll effects, horizontal motion. Again, I'm going to paste it in there. This one we're going to leave as is. We'll save that. Move down to our next one, modern concepts here. And again, I'm just alternating when I go into these rows. Advanced scroll effects, horizontal motion, right click, paste horizontal motion. So make sure this is doing what we want it to do. So this one's coming in from that side. Next one's coming in from there. That one's coming in from there. Perfect. This one we need to flip, take the negative away. And last but not least, we've got one on the bottom here. Advanced scroll effects, horizontal motion, right click, paste horizontal motion. We should be good to go. Now what I'm going to do, I haven't got any scrolling room left really when it gets to the bottom here, because that's my footer right there. So it's not going to go any further than that. I'm going to add a bit of padding to the bottom of my section, so we've got a bit more scroll room. Let's go back to the top. We'll go into the section. Remember, it's the blue tab. Go over design and down to spacing. I'm going to put about 20% on the bottom. Obviously, adjust to taste. If we look at the bottom of the site now, we've got a bit of scroll room there before the footer comes in. Perfect. Well, let's save our changes now. Make sure this is going to work on the front end. Save our section settings. Save draft or publish if you're ready. And let's exit the Visual Builder. There's our image loading. 2 seconds later, we've got our first title coming in from the left. 4 seconds, one coming in from the right. As we scroll down the page, other titles are going to roll in from either side there. Really nice little thing to have on your website. Really easy to do, no coding, as you can see. Like I say, large text is really in vogue at the moment. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie from System 22, and we're designing TakeTips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.